and we also try to keep the river as much as possible clean. So how as a other stakeholders, we want to keep the river clean forever. That was the idea to be pressed on these 9 different performances. First is on the Thiagarajar main road, the bridge ஒட்டி when you enter, there you will have the VRRPP community, which means spots, Arapalayam, water. So there is some. So similarly, when you near to Arapalayam bus stand, Arapalayam Murugaswamy Koil comes river. There with Tobi community, and on the Arapalayam Tharapalathority, we identified 9 spots inside the Vaigai River itself to have a different sort of farmer performance and all this thing. So say the entire stretch of about 4.5 kilometers, 6 hours pageantry, 4 to 5 hours, and then last culmination about an hour and a half performance, so that people from both stay. So by sensitizing this, probably in the both sides of the banks, there are people living on the banks of Vaigai, must get their commitment, not throwing dumps, waste in that, so that the corporation can put both segregate waste which can be just recycled waste which cannot be recycled. Like this, they can put a bin. In fact, the corporation commissioner told on the day he is interested to buy by paying a price for recyclable waste. So you said each ward wise I put up a collection point. So you can come and give your recyclable waste. I will, from corporation will buy and then will convert into this organic this thing. For this non-recyclable, you yourself can, the cloths and other things you can, for waste paper or waste merchants you sort it, so that you don't damage. So the corporation will do that type of positive framework of mind is there. On the day when the evening when she was giving, many colleges came, engineering colleges, because that too on either Puja day we were worried nobody, and we should thank the Mr. Chandran and team there, and Balaji and all. They called their own friends to come. It was a very so we were not expecting that much student community will come on that afternoon. It was good. Being Ayudha Puja and everybody is busy. So it was a very nicely done, and the college students are very interested. So what we are thinking is maybe that 8 kilometer stretch, each half kilometer one college, and maybe the entire civil society participate in cleaning the Vaigai River. And the principal commissioner.
So yeah.
I am Abhay Kumar. I was the principal of this college. You can send emails. I can also respond to these online.
Maximum pros and civil engineering.
Dr. Thiagarajar, Professor, Environmental
Assistant Professor, Department of Architecture.
Balaji, work here as an Associate Professor in Architecture.
And Jacob, Assistant Professor, Environmental Division. This college.
Which
Environmental Division.
Chandran is not here.
And I'll explain a little bit about who I am, so you guys can understand why I'm here. But I'm actually half Indian, first of all. My mother is from India. She was born in Calcutta. And I know you look at me, you never know. But 25 years ago, I came to India to visit family. And I was, as an art person in the arts, I was interested in putting art back in a community context, addressing issues, sort of getting out of the art world, and having art mean something to people outside of the art community. And then I came to India and I wanted to document the Meenakshi Festival in Madurai. Now, it was amazing because I knew nothing, that I had a personal connection to Madurai. My mother's from Calcutta. And I went to the New York Public Library, and this is 1989, found a book on the Meenakshi Festival. And I said, that's it, we're going to go to Madurai, we're going to live there for 1 month, and I want to document the Meenakshi Festival. So I came here, I lived here for a month, 1989. I documented every day for the month, the whole Chitrai Festival, videotape. And then I came back to New York, and I lived in a neighborhood where all these community gardens were being destroyed. And I had an idea. I said, why don't I organize like the idea, the art form of the Meenakshi Festival, and all the festivals. I went to Kumbh Mela in the north, I was in India for 4 months. Why don't I apply that to organizing the community to save these community gardens that were being threatened with destruction? Anyway, I committed 15 years to that project. I built a citywide coalition in New York. We got the new mayor on board. Day one as mayor, who transferred hundreds of gardens in 2002. So we had been working almost 15 years when hundreds of gardens were saved and put into the Parks Department now to be protected. So it was a really good example where I took something that inspired me from India and then applied it for social action, and it worked. Then I said, okay, we saved the gardens. Now I live in downtown New York, the Hudson River, which that's been an effort of about 40, 50 years since the river I grew up knowing in the 70s was polluted, and people started organizing. We had legal action, from the 70s and the 80s. They declared it as a cleanup site. And finally in the 90s, they started, GE, the electric company, had put PCBs in the river. They had to pay huge fines and actually start dredging of the river to remove the toxins. And finally, only recently, in the past 10 years, did the river get restored to the point they gave it a designation as an estuarine sanctuary in New York City. And they let seahorses now breeding. They start planting oysters to organically cleanse the waters. They now have boating programs, educational. People before couldn't fish because the fish were toxic. Now people are fishing in the river. So it's, and then the new Mayor Bloomberg, only since 2003, we've begun a green belt around the entire New York City of parks and promenades along the river. Beautiful. I have a whole slideshow I showed that night, but it's up on YouTube if anybody's interested in seeing. So it was an amazing example where you see how we turned it around. Now it took New York 40 years or so, because you're talking about you're starting in the 70s, before there was an environmental movement. I think right now this kind of turnaround can happen much quicker, and in Chennai in a couple of years, because the government was behind it, they've already begun cleaning up that river in 2 years. They didn't take 40 years to do it, because here maybe the problems are less pollutants like PCBs and more just garbage and sewage. Anyway, so that's the background of why I'm here. And then I came back spontaneously in December and had only recently discovered I actually had family that lived in Madurai for hundreds of years. And they're all buried right near the center of town in the Anglo-Indian cemetery. The Burbies, and Daniel Burby, my great-great-grandfather, founded the St. George Church. Okay,
The maximum temple YMCA building on church that was built by her great-great-grandfather in 1730.
1801, but the family was here, and one of the family, they were English, but one married a local Madurai woman, so they were mixed, Anglo and Indian. So imagine, when I came here 25 years ago, I didn't know I had family here. I went the other day, I photographed the graves. They're all buried, many of them, right there, died 1805, 1811. So incredible that I had a connection to Madurai from an artistic way without knowing my family lived here from, well, further back, but at least 1700s. We can't trace the native home Madurai.
Peter Pandin.
Yeah, and he worked, Daniel Burby worked for Peter Roos, who was known as Peter Pandian. So my great-grandfather was the writer in the collector's office under Peter Roos. And then other people were, it says, conductor of ordnance, I don't know what is that, in charge of the artillery for Madurai, Fort Madurai. So, they all civil judge Madurai. So, incredible, right?
from England, is it?
Well, the original Burby who came in the 1730s was from England, but then when married a native Madurai woman. But then they renamed her Eleanor. So, but we can't trace beyond, but it goes back. But it mixed Anglo and
Now he carried out DNAs and all and then traced many things he used to do.
exactly. So anyway, that's the incredible story that brings me here today. And then I came in December here today. So my hope was, for this partnership to have your college basically host work a space, a dedicated space.
On the one side, the space requirements. On the other side, the human resources and the like. The third one is, if everything is available, what way it is going to translate into the project actuals. Right? So now we will have to discuss among ourselves how well the students could really be involved into this project. There are immediately I see a lot of positives in that. Maybe there are a few issues as well. If some student is called into this sort of work, then this work should be defined such a way that it ultimately ends up as a project for him in the end of the year, at the end of the year. So whether it is an architecture student or an environmental student or a civil engineering student, this must be considered as a sort of a work which has got a technicalities and also the social impacts. So maybe we will discuss about the typical schedule that we can make so that it also satisfies the academic requirements. Because if few students are called into this, if they also have got this academic interest, then they should make more sort of aggressive participation in this, in my opinion. So that we will try to look at, and then typically the treatment or the EIAs and environmental impact assessments or the work that we do. Can that be considered into this, and ultimately how well this can be done? And I am thus assured that as an institute we have got social commitment to do this work. But I only feel in addition to that, if it becomes part of that academic activities also, this will make more sense, and then to the student also environment will be better. In the Madurai program, we had some of the environmental engineering students participating along with the architecture students. And Balaji and Chandran and others coordinated this work. We constructed a model of the Vaigai Dam.
I saw that. I had actually, with the painting.
Yeah.
I found that Hindu article.
There were a lot of things because that if it is transformed as an assignment or a project, then the student also gets a pride in that.
Exactly.
So we will have to first understand what are all the total roadmap for this work, and then into that what is technical, what is not technical, what is social, what is infrastructure. That way we can split. Then typically where all we could really work could really be made more organized. So maybe from what is, but indirectly it should also help in his own
And what the
academic
semester runs from December 1st
to April.
April what?
April maybe second week.
Oh, perfect.
Maybe second
That's
week.
perfect. Very, very good. That's the project. Well, what's also interesting is I'm also doing for next year, I got asked by Princeton University to design a course, pageant course, on a water body. It's the Lake Carnegie at Princeton. And I'm doing it as a course, and I'm engaging students from different departments. So I even have a syllabus.
Oh,
When I go back to New York on Friday, I'm meeting the head of the arts department to discuss that project. but it's already been, I'm collaborating with an environmental professor from the Princeton Environmental Institute, who's been doing all the studies on the lake. So it's a collaboration of art and environmental science. And it's the same idea, but it's local. It's in the small town of Princeton in the lake just off campus. But it's the same idea, but
Then we could even
you can
consider
see
that
the,
as
I can send you the syllabus and you can see, because that was a 12-week course. And, you know, it's like starts week 1 intro, week 2 site visit, where they go with the professor, like, to the source, you know, and then they go and they do, I even got it down to assignments where they were actually going and, you know, doing like research, photographing.
that's
writing
typically what
reports.
architecture programs are kind of. They go site
Site
visits,
visits,
they go come back and record. In fact, the record
But, yeah, so it's very, I can send that to you, because
yeah.
it's written out like, yeah, of course, I got readings and assignments, and all of that. It's just, you know, you take Lake Carnegie out, you put Vaigai River.
So that way we will identify 6 to 7 students in that, who will be, as you said, will be the leaders for those groups. Rest of the fellows can come and go as the case may be. That we can do. And those guides who are doing it can also go.
And I think, you know, with Gita, which she was thinking of focusing on the urban planning, sort of future restoration on the part of it. But even for the pageant project, there may be ways of incorporating, you know, where students do, you know, some sort of schematic drawings, envisioning the future along the riverbanks.
That is the
With-
regular
with-
subject itself. They
With
can do.
playgrounds. And there's a great, I'll send you guys the link, this urban planner architect in Fez, Morocco. They cleaned up the Fez River in 20 years, but they did an incredible urban planning transformation. And she did a 5-minute TED Talk and showing in 20 years how they went from garbage, river, the center of Fez, a mess, to a whole transformation. Now there are kids' playgrounds, they made these promenades, you know, they have covered the river, that had buildings put on top of it. I mean, it's incredible because the 20 years is now up, so you see how it worked. But I'll send that to you.
Yeah.
But there's a
Person
lot.
name? What's the person name?
Her name, I'll send it to you. It's like Chum, you know, some. Yeah, I'll send you the link. And it says.
Because if you could do something today, so probably tomorrow before you leave, you will have some sort of clarification things on the roadmaps, what exactly you can, because then again later it's to be only to Skype. So they can maximize your presence. If
Yeah.
something is student writing today, so
Yeah.
tomorrow they could, or tomorrow today evening, or tomorrow morning,
Yeah.
if there is anything to get back to you, so you get back to
If
the person.
we can send it, because I don't want it to be formal, just an informal sketching of.
Yeah, and I'll send you, I
By
have the Princeton
afternoon,
syllabus.
yeah, by afternoon we will do it. Maybe in the evening we can sit and discuss for about an hour or so. Then make questionnaire, then interaction will